this evening we've got a little bit of a class with a focus on changing perspectives. So obviously changing of the seasons. I was really unmotivated last week. I don't know about you guys, but I took a conscious decision over the weekend to embrace autumn, and then went out running in the wind and the rain and had a lovely afternoon tea with some friends and some cake, and I felt much better about life. So tonight we're going to change our perspectives to embrace the autumn. So we're going to do a bit of warm up, and we're going to do a bit of stretching and moving around and some upside down stuff as well, because sometimes it's just good to look at the world from a different angle. So we're going to start with fascia circles tonight actually. So starting with the left leg, we're just going to do 3 circles in each direction through the ankle, and then 3 circles in the other direction. And then moving into the knee, exactly the same. You can have hands at heart center, or you can have hands on your hips, or you can hold on to something if you're feeling a bit unbalanced today. Then 3 circles each way through the hip. Good. Great way just to get the whole body moving. Then put the left leg down and move over to the right leg, starting with 3 circles through the ankle. And then 3 circles in the other direction. And then 3 circles through the knee. And 3 in the other direction. And then into the hip. And then again, moving in the other direction. Then putting the feet down and taking them nice and wide. Do 3 really big circles through the hips. And then take that the other way. Good. And then into the ribs, the one that we have to concentrate on. And then once you've done 3 one way, do 3 the other way. Then 3 circles into the shoulders, really squidging them up to the ears and down the back, getting into all those crunchy bits, and then take them the other way. Good. And then into the wrists, for 3 one way, 3 the other way. And we'll do forearms today as well, so making a fist and doing 3 circles with our fists, and then 3 in the other direction. Then into the elbows, and the other way. And then 3 really big circles into the shoulders, really big circles with the arms. And then take those in the other direction. Bring them forwards. Excellent. And then take the ear to the shoulder. Take the chin around towards the shoulder, and we'll do 3 rolls of the head in each direction around the front. Rolling it one way, then rolling it the other way. Trying to keep that chin as close to the collarbone as you can. And then when you've done 3 in both directions, bring the head back up to neutral, and we'll just stretch out each side. So start by taking left ear to left shoulder, really relaxing this right shoulder down. Then bring the head up through centre and take the right ear to the right shoulder, relaxing the left shoulder down. Excellent. Bringing the head straight up to the centre, drop the chin to the chest, interlace the fingers and cup the back of the skull. Really bring the chin in close to your chest and into your collarbone, and then stretch the back of the neck by pressing the head into the hands and pressing the hands into the head. Couple more breaths here. Excellent, then let that one go. And then we'll come straight down onto our hands and knees to start with. So untucking the toes, really grounding down through the shins and the top of the feet, and taking the hands slightly forward of the shoulders so that we're not overextending the wrists. Take a nice big inhale, let the belly come down towards the mat, sit bones go up, look up. Then as you exhale, curl the tailbone under, pull the tummy in and drop the head. Inhale as the belly drops down, sit bones go up, look up, press the ground away so the shoulders are engaged. And then exhale, curl the tailbone under, pull the belly in, drop the head. Inhale as we come down. And then exhale as we go up. Coming back to a neutral spine, we'll then make a C shape with the spine. So trying to keep the hips and the shoulders relatively still, curve around so that you're looking over your right shoulder towards your right hip. Then inhale back through center and exhale, curl around, look over your left shoulder, try to see your left hip. Inhale through center, exhale one way. Inhale through center, exhale the other way. And just notice if it's different from one side to the other. Inhale through center, exhale one way. Inhale through center, exhale the other way. Then coming back to center. This time, taking the hands even further forward, coming down onto the elbows, and we'll try to come into extended puppy pose. So do what is best for your practice. If it's in your practice and you can get your forehead to the floor and melt your chest to the floor, then you can walk your hands forward. You can stay on your elbows or you can go into it a little bit further. If coming to your head is quite easy for you and it's in your practice and you want to go deeper, then you can come to the chin. But the most important thing here is to really think about melting the chest towards the mat, arching through the upper back, keeping the hips above the knees. Couple of breaths here. Looking straight out along your mat or into your mat, depending on your head position. Then on your next inhale, start to move, bringing the elbows back in, walking back up onto the hands. Take an exhale in tabletop. Then inhale the right arm up towards the ceiling. And as you exhale, bring it down through the hole and come all the way down onto the shoulder into a gentle twist. From here, either stretch your fingers straight out above your head to get a stretch into the arm. Or if you'd rather increase the twist, then take the top arm around the back, reaching for the right leg. And just have a couple of breaths here. Then wherever the top arm is, bring the hand back in front of your face and push the body back up into tabletop. On the next inhale, inhale the left arm up towards the ceiling, and then exhale, come down onto the left shoulder. And again, take your preferred positioning with the top arm. Either stretch it out above the head to get a stretch into the armpit and the arm, or take it around the back and open up the top shoulder to increase the stretch and the twist. A few breaths here. And wherever your top hand is, bring it back in front of the face and push back up to our tabletop. So from here, tuck the toes underneath and push up into our first down dog of the evening. So have a wiggle and a jiggle here to start with, looking through our legs, so looking in between our calves, whatever you can see through there. And then just wiggle or jiggle the body wherever it needs. If you feel like you want to pad through the feet, moving the weight from one side to the other, then feel free to do that. If you feel like stretching your chest towards your thighs to stretch out the top of the back, then do that. If you want to wiggle through the shoulders, move however you feel you want to move this evening. Then grounding down in our down dog. So our wrist creases are in line with the front of our mat. Our toes and the balls of our feet are really grounded, but it doesn't matter whether our heels are down or not. Equally, it doesn't matter if your legs are straight or whether you've got a slight bend in the knee. Just be comfortable in your down dog. Wrap the shoulders around the side of the body so that your shoulders are strong and engaged. And really trying to lengthen through the back so we don't have any banana backs going on. The back is nice and long, honouring its natural curves. Then lifting the right hand off the mat, reach somewhere along the left leg and look out underneath your armpit. So you might be holding the thigh or the calf, maybe the ankle, whatever is accessible for you in your practice this evening. Just have another couple of breaths here, really engaging the shoulder of the left arm. And then come back into your downward facing dog. Maybe stretch forward into plank just to stretch out the muscles in a different direction. Then take the hips up again. Engage the shoulders again, so the shoulder blades are wrapped around your sides. Really feel strong in your downward dog. Then lift the left hand and reach for somewhere along your right leg, either the thigh or the calf or the ankle. And look out underneath your right armpit. So just changing our perspectives on what we're looking at. Excellent stuff, well done guys. Couple more breaths here. Really engaging that right shoulder. Then bring the hand back into your downward facing dog. Grounding down through the knees, either knees together or knees apart, whatever's most comfortable. Coming into child's pose. Head comes down and touches the mat. Let everything relax on the mat and have 3 deep breaths in child's pose. Just noticing how you feel in your body this evening. Then coming back up through tabletop, tuck the toes and push back up into downward facing dog. This time float the left leg up behind you. Bring it all the way forwards and place it between the hands, or give it a little tug to get it between the hands. We'll take both hands to the inside of the front foot and let the hips come down. So we're really stretching into the hips. If it's in your pose and you can do dragon and bring an elbow down, or maybe 2 elbows down, then feel free to do that. Equally, you can have the back knee raised or you can drop it to the mat, whichever feels good for you. And just have a moment to stretch out that hip. Excellent. Now take the hips up, straightening out through the front leg. Maybe heel toe it into the centre of the mat and take a slight step in so you haven't got such a big stance. Hands can come either side of the front leg and then lift the toes to stretch out down the hamstring of the front leg. Keep the back nice and long. If you're curving through the spine, it makes the stretch less intense. If you're stretching the chest towards your knee, then the stretch becomes more intense. And equally, if it's not in your practice to have a straight back leg, you can bend the back leg. So work with wherever your body is at this evening. Excellent.
Couple more breaths here. Really lengthening out that spine. Really flexing the toe to increase the stretch. And on each exhale, trying to go a tiny bit deeper. Good. Ground down through the front foot. Take a bend in the back knee and then step forward into forward fold. Very gradually roll all the way back up to Tadasana, to standing. We'll do 3 deep breaths. Inhaling the hands up in front of you and exhaling them out to the sides. Inhaling them up. Exhaling them down. Inhaling them up. Exhaling them down. Good. Then inhale the arms up and out to the sides. And then exhale, swan dive forwards into forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. This time take the left foot back. Really ground down through the feet and bring both hands to the inside of the front foot. And then come into your variation of dragon pose. So either stay on the hands. If it's in your practice to go deeper and bring your elbows down, then bring your elbows down. You can have the back knee lifted or on the mat, whichever feels most comfortable. And have a couple of deep breaths here. Excellent. And then take the hands either side of the front foot and heel toe it to the centre of the mat. Straightening out that front leg and stepping the back leg in slightly. Lift the toes of the right foot. The back leg can be straight or bent, whatever is more comfortable for you. And stretch that chest forward, so stretch that chest towards the knee. Really flex the toes up towards your face. With each inhale, try and lengthen the spine. With each exhale, take the chest closer to the knee, keeping the spine long, keeping the toe flexed. Really feeling where that stretches down the back of the leg. And grounding down through the front foot, taking a bend in the back leg, step forwards to a forward fold. And just hang in forward fold for a moment. You can either have the hands on the floor. Any pain in the lower back, you want to keep your legs bent and really support your torso and your thighs. If your back is strong and healthy, you can straighten the legs, maybe sway from side to side in ragdoll. Either with the hands on the ground or holding opposite elbows. Just letting go of any of the tensions of the day. Good. Okay, inhaling all the way up. Reaching the fingers up above the head, looking up towards the ceiling. Exhaling, bringing the hands to heart centre. And take a quarter turn on your mat so you're facing sideways. Haven't worn the most ideal jumper this evening for yoga practice. I keep speaking into my own hood. Hopefully you can hear me. Okay, so facing the side of our mat, we take a great big step to the side. To start with, we'll take the toes out, so the toes are pointing in line with our knees. And then come down into goddess. Now to start with, our hands can either be on our hips or at heart centre, whichever you feel most comfortable with. And find a point of focus where you can really concentrate on your balance. Relax the shoulders down the back. Get really comfortable and strong in your goddess pose. Excellent. 3 really deep breaths here. Good. Then lift the left heel and do 3 little dips, even lower with the left heel raised. Then put that heel back down. Raise the right heel and do 3 little dips with the right heel raised, nice and slowly, nice and deep. Put that heel down. Lift both heels. Do 3 little dips, even deeper with both heels raised. Really concentrating on the balance. Hold it at the bottom. Squeeze everything together. Open the knees out to the sides. Squeeze the glutes under. Put the heels down. Stretch up. Maybe have a little kick around. Just to let that one go. Then we're going to do it again. So, toes out to the sides. Come down into your goddess pose. 3 really deep breaths in your goddess pose. Beautiful stuff, guys. Then lift the left heel. 3 dips into the left heel. Put the left heel down. Lift the right heel. 3 dips. Good. Both heels down. Both heels up. 3 dips, really low. Squeeze those bum muscles. Squeeze those inner thighs. Stay low, heels raised for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Drop the heels. Come up. Good stuff. Give those legs a little kick out. Excellent. Give them a little shake. Okay, so this time, taking our feet nice and wide again. Keeping the toes in line with the knees. We'll bring some mudras into this as well. So as we're standing, we're going to make everything taut and tight. So pulling in the core, pulling in the pelvic floor, really making our arm muscles nice and tight. So everything is pulling in and up, making a fist with our hands. Then as we come down and we bend our knees, we open our fingers out wide and we relax into the pose. So as you inhale and come up, you squeeze everything together. As you exhale and go down, we spread out our fingers and relax into the pose. Inhale up, squeeze everything in. Exhale down, relax and release. Inhale up, squeeze everything in. Core, pelvic floor. Exhale down, relax those fingers out. Inhale, come up, really squeeze. Exhale, release it down. Last one, inhale up, really, really squeeze. And then exhale down, really relax. Good, come up. Going low in goddess didn't feel so bad that time. It's amazing what a mudra can do. Okay, so feet roughly in line with the edges of your yoga mat. Your feet can be as close together or as wide as you like, but we're going to come into a forward fold. So any problems with active sciatica, take the toes out to the sides. Otherwise, you want to aim with your feet parallel to the ends of the mat. Engage the legs first, so the legs are strong. Take a nice big inhale, keeping the back nice and tall. Pivot from the hips as you exhale. Really keeping the legs strong. Engage the leg muscles again. And then when you can't keep the back straight any longer, then you can bring your hands down if that's in your practice. You can always have them on blocks if you have blocks to hand. Make sure that the weight is even between the balls of your feet and the heels of your feet. And then gradually drop your head towards the floor. Engage the legs again and see if that gives you a little bit more space. If it's in your practice and you want to walk your hands through, then feel free to walk the hands through your legs. Or you can hold on around the back of the heels or the back of the calves as well. Trying to get the back as long as possible. So really reaching the crown of the head down towards the floor. And take 3 really deep breaths in whichever variation of the pose that you're doing. engaging those legs. On each exhale, try and relax into the pose. Then once you've done your 3 breaths, bring the hands back underneath the face and bring the back kind of to 90 degrees. So we'll just work through some twists with the breath. So keeping the right hand on the floor, we'll inhale the left hand up towards the ceiling. Exhale at the top. Inhale the hand back down, and then we'll exhale to the other side, reaching the right hand up. Inhale down, exhale up the left hand. Inhale down, exhale up the right hand. Really noticing what you can see as you move. Inhaling down, exhaling twist. Inhaling down, exhaling twist. One more each side. Inhale down, exhale twist. Inhale down, exhale twist. Inhale back to center. Bring the hands to the hips. Really engage the leg muscles and then pivot from the hips as you come back up to standing. Good stuff. And then step the legs together. Just give them a little kick out. Good. Okay, coming to the tops of our mats. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, folding forwards. Big bend in the knees. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Take the left leg back to plank. Take the right leg back to plank. Bring the knees down to the floor, and then we'll bring the elbows down to the floor. Measure the triceps, so take the hands and put them around the triceps, and then bring the hands forward and interlace the fingers as we tuck the toes and step the hips up, so we come into dolphin pose. So nice big inhale here. As we exhale, we'll come forward into a dolphin press up. Inhale, push up, look between the legs. Exhale, come forwards, try and get the chin over the hands. Inhale, come up, look between the legs. Exhale, come forwards, chin over the hands. 2 more. Inhale up, look through the legs. Exhale, come forwards, chin over the hands. Inhale up, look through the legs. Exhale, forwards, chin over the hands. Inhale, push up. Bring the knees down to the mat, and then take the hips back towards the heels in child's pose. 3 big breaths here. Then coming up, tuck the toes under, come to your plank, and we'll do our vinyasa. So either knees, chest, chin, or come down through chaturanga, and then into your cobra, or your up facing dog. Take the hips up and over, into your downward facing dog, looking through those legs again. Then look forwards, bend the knees, and step or jump forwards into forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, all the way up to the top. Exhale, hands to heart center. I'm going to get rid of this stupid jumper. And then we're going to run through that flow again. So, nice big inhale, arms up above your head. Exhale, forward fold, big bend in the knees. Inhale, halfway lift, long back, long neck. Exhale, forward fold. Then step or jump back to plank. Take the knees down, take the elbows down. Measure the distance of your elbows from one another by bringing your hands to your triceps and then taking them forwards and interlacing the fingers into dolphin arms. Press the toes into the mat and lift the hips up into dolphin. Looking through between your legs. And take a nice big inhale. As you exhale, come forwards, trying to get your chin in front of your hands. Inhale back up into dolphin. Exhale forwards. 2. Inhale up. Exhale forwards, 3. Inhale up. Exhale forwards, 4. Inhale up. Exhale forwards, 5. Inhale up. Bring the knees down. Take the hips back towards the heels into child's pose. 3 deep breaths here. Then coming up, tuck the toes, push up into plank. Then either come down through knees, chest, chin, or come forwards and take the weight down through chaturanga and into cobra or up dog. Really stretch the chest forwards, relax the shoulders down the back. Nice big inhale here. On the exhale, take the hips up, come over the toes and into your downward facing dog. Maybe have a wiggle and a jiggle here, couple of breaths. Then looking forwards, bend the knees, step or jump forwards into forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, exhale, fold. Inhaling all the way up to the top. Exhale, hands back to heart center. Good stuff. Okay, slight different fold this time. So inhale up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Take the left leg halfway along your mat. So we're in a small step. Take a bend in both knees and inhale all the way up to the top. And then bring the hands to heart center. Keeping the hips facing directly forwards. We take a really nice big inhale. As we exhale, pivot from the hips. Come as far as you can. Aiming your head towards the shin of the front leg. If you want to take the hands down to the mat, you can. Really think about squeezing the inner thighs together to keep the hips level. And looking between your legs. 3 deep breaths here. And then really squeezing the inner thighs towards one another, lifting the chest up, bringing the hands back to heart center and coming out the way that you went in. Then on your next big inhale, take the arms out to the sides and above the head. Interlace the fingers and point the first fingers out like a Charlie's Angel gun. Now this time, instead of keeping the back straight, we'll curve through the back. So really think about rounding through the upper back, taking the chin towards the chest. And as we slowly roll over, keeping the legs straight, we're aiming our Charlie's Angel gun towards our big toe and our second toe. Once we get there, we want to try and get our head as close to our knee as possible. You may need to bend your knee to get your knee towards your forehead. But keeping the inner thighs squeezing together, trying to keep the hips as level as possible, and just feel how much that changes the pose with the small change of how we're positioning our spine. Different focus, different perspective. Take a nice big inhale, squeeze the core, squeeze the inner muscles towards one another, and come back up. Bring the hands down to the sides. Excellent. Take a bend in the front knee, bring the hands down either side of the front toes, step the back leg back, and then step the other leg back, so we come back into plank. Either come down through knees, chest, chin, or chaturanga into your cobra or your up dog. Stretching the chest forward, elongating the front of the body. Then take the hips up and come over into your downward facing dog. Take the left leg up behind you. Bend at the knee, open the hip up towards the ceiling and stretch those toes over the back as if you were trying to tickle your right shoulder. Really stretching through the psoas muscle. Then you can either stay here, or if you want to change what you're looking at, then flip your dog over and stretch the left arm up towards the ceiling and then above and over your head. Whichever you've chosen, take 2 deep breaths. If your dog is flipped, flip it back the other way, come into 3-legged dog. Then place your foot down on the mat. Look forwards, bend the knees, step or jump forwards into forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold forwards. Inhale, all the way up to the top. Exhale, hands back to heart center. Good stuff. Okay, other side. Inhaling, arms up. Exhale, folding forwards. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. This time, take the right leg back, just a small step. And you want your feet to be hip width. Then inhale, come up. Both legs nice and straight to start with. Now the first one we did was hands on hips, keeping the hips facing forwards, nice long legs, squeeze the inner thighs towards one another to keep the hips stable, and then pivot from the hips to come forwards as far as you can, keeping the back long. Then when it's available to you, bring your hands down to the floor, you can always have them on blocks, and try and reach the head towards the shin. Really grounding down through the toes, keeping the back long, keeping the legs engaged. On each exhale, see if you can get a little bit deeper into the posture. And then on the next inhale, really squeeze the inner thighs towards one another and come all the way back up. Inhaling the arms up above the head. Interlace the fingers. Take the first fingers out into a Charlie's Angel gun. Keeping those hips facing forwards, stretch up through the fingers. And then as you exhale, start to round through the top of the spine, dropping the chin to the chest. Keeping the legs pulling towards one another, roll down through the spine, scooping out the belly, so pulling the belly in towards the lower back until your fingers come down towards your big toe and your second toe. Really keep that rounding through the back and try and get your forehead towards your knee, maybe needing to bend your knee in order to get anywhere close there. My left side is tighter than my right side. 3 deep breaths here. Really squeezing the legs together, feeling how different this same stretch is with a slightly different focus. Different arm position, different back position. And pull the core in, engage the legs and roll all the way back up. Exhaling the hands down by your sides, bringing them all the way to the mat and stepping back into plank. Either coming down through knees, chest, chin, or take the weight forward and come down through chaturanga into your cobra or your up dog. Really stretching the chest forwards. Nice big inhale here. Exhale, take the hips up, come into your downward facing dog. Nice big inhale here. Exhale, relax in your dog. Keeping the shoulders engaged, keeping the back long. Then lift the right leg up behind you and bend at the knee, open the hip. Really reaching those toes over towards the left shoulder. And either stay there, or if you'd like to flip your perspective, then flip your dog. Stretching the right arm above the head and looking away from you. 3 deep breaths here. And if you flipped your dog, flip it back into 3-legged dog. Then everybody bring your foot back down to the mat. Level out the hips, looking forward, bend the knees. Step or jump forwards into forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Then exhale, fold forward. Inhale, come all the way up. And then exhale. Hands down to heart center. Beautiful stuff. Well done, guys. Okay, so we're going to do a posture now of your choice. So because we're changing the perspectives today, it would be good if it was something upside down or something where your head is lower than your heart. So you can do some of the postures we've done already. You could do a simple down dog if you wanted to do that, a shoulder stand, a wheel pose, a headstand, handstand if it's in your practice, or a pincher. It's entirely up to you what you do. I'm going to have a go at wheel pose tonight because I haven't done it for ages. So whatever pose you're doing, always come into the pose mindfully and always come out of the pose mindfully. So think about what muscles need to be engaged. Think about your positioning. Think about your breathing. Think about, can you do something halfway in between before you go into the full expression? And notice where your body's at today. There might be places that are tighter than normal, or need your breath to open them up gently. Three deep breaths in whichever posture you've chosen. Then gently come out of your chosen posture. And let's meet everybody laid on the mat, on our backs, arms down by our sides, feet close to our bums with our feet parallel. And we'll do a few movements through bridge. So as we inhale, starting with the tailbone, tuck it up, and then lift the spine bone by bone off of the mat. As you come to the top, really lift the hips and squeeze the glutes. And then exhale, roll that spine bone by bone back down onto the mat, matching the movement with the length of your breath. So inhaling, starting with tailbone, curl it up, gradually lifting it up off the mat. At the top, lift the hips, squeeze the glutes, and then exhale, gently roll that spine back down, bone by bone. Okay, one more like that. Inhale, lift the spine. At the top, squeeze the glutes, lift the hips, and then exhale, lower down nice and slowly. Okay, this time with the arms as well. So as we inhale, lift the spine, lift the arms above our heads. Then as we exhale, roll the spine back down, bring the arms back down. Inhale up. Exhale down. Inhale up. Exhale down. Then this time keep the arms by the sides, lift up into bridge, and then either hold here for 3 deep breaths, or if it's in your practice and you want to roll onto your shoulders and take the bind with your hands, so bring your hands together and interlace the fingers, Then hold that posture again for 3 deep breaths, lifting the hips up as high as you can, squeezing the glutes together. Then release the bind if you have it, unroll the shoulders, and then everybody curl the spine back down onto the mat. Bone by bone by bone, nice and slowly. And take the right leg up towards the ceiling, and then bring it down and cross the ankle over the left knee. Lifting up through the shoulders, and take the hand through the hole and interlace the fingers around the back of the thigh or over the shin, whatever's more comfortable for you. And then roll back down onto your mat. Maybe taking a slight wiggle from side to side, just to get into this posture more. So really squeezing in towards your chest. Your head and your shoulders should be relaxed on the mat. If you need more of a stretch into the glute, press the inner thigh with your right elbow. Take a nice big inhale, maybe release off the pull on the leg slightly. And as you exhale, see if you can pull the knee in. So inhale, release off slightly. Exhale, pull it in. Inhale, release off slightly. Exhale, pull it in. Then staying with the same leg, stretch the left leg up towards the ceiling and see how that changes how the posture feels. So take a nice big inhale and then exhale. See if you can squeeze the legs further into you. Inhale to release. Exhale, squeeze. Inhale to release. Exhale, squeeze. Then release your hands around the thigh. Take the left hand to your foot, the right hand to your knee, and then take your left leg out long. So this time we're using our arm muscles to pull our right leg in towards our chest in a reclined pigeon. Stretch out the left leg along the mat. Maybe flex the foot, maybe point the toes. See how that changes the stretch for you. 2 deep inhales here. Excellent. Then release the leg. Take both feet back to the mat. And then take the left leg up towards the ceiling. Bend at the knee and cross the left ankle over the right thigh. Sit up through your head and your shoulders and reach through the gap so that you can interlace the fingers around the back of the thigh or around the shin, whatever's more comfortable. Then relax your shoulders and your head back onto the mat. Maybe having a wiggle from side to side to encourage your body into the pose. If you need more of a stretch into the glute, press your left elbow into your inner thigh. Then take a nice big inhale. On the exhale, see if you can pull the legs closer towards you. Inhale to release. Exhale, squeeze. Notice how it's different on this side to the other side. Inhale to release. Exhale, squeeze. Then take the right leg straight up towards the ceiling. Exactly the same. Take a nice big inhale. Exhale, squeeze. See how that changes the pose for you. Inhale, release. Exhale, squeeze. Inhale, release. Exhale, squeeze. Then release the thigh. Take the right hand to the foot, the left hand to the knee, and take the right leg out long on the mat. Start by engaging that right leg. Take a nice big inhale, and then on the exhale, squeeze the left leg in towards your chest and your armpit into a reclined pigeon. Inhale, release it off slightly. Exhale, squeeze. Play with the other foot, maybe flex it, maybe point it. See how that changes the stretch. and see how it feels from one side to the other. 2 more deep breaths here. Excellent, and release that off. Bring both feet to the mat. Take our arms straight out from our shoulders. We'll start by simply inhaling the knees in towards our chest. And then on an exhale, twist them over towards the left and look out over your right shoulder. On each inhale, take the breath as deep into your body as you can, and on the exhale, let everything release and relax onto the mat. Just noticing where you feel any tension, noticing where you feel the stretch. Notice if there's any muscles that are hanging on rather than releasing and relaxing into the pose. And bring your head back to center on an inhale. On an exhale, squeeze the core in and roll the hips back onto the mat. Take a nice big inhale at center, and then exhale, allow the legs to roll over to the right. And look out over your left shoulder. Exactly the same thing on this side. Notice if it's different to the other side. Notice where the stretch is. Notice any areas of tension or any muscles that are holding on. And with each inhale, send the breath to those places. And with the exhale, try and relax and release into the pose. And on your next inhale, bring your head back to center. On an exhale, pull the core muscles in and roll the hips back onto the mat. Take the feet down to the mat. Lift the hips up, scoot them over to the right and pop them back down. Hug the knees in and then cross the right leg over the left. Take a nice big inhale here. And on an exhale, roll the legs over to the left and feel how different this twist feels than the last twist. Notice any areas of tension. Notice where the stretch has moved in your body. Notice if you're holding tension anywhere. See if you can release and relax it by using your breath. Then on your next inhale, bring your head back to center. On an exhale, pull the core in and roll your hips back down onto the mat. Untangle your legs and then straighten yourself back up on the mat. Lift up the hips. This time scoot them over to the left and then pop them back down. Hug the knees into the belly. Cross the left leg over the right on this side. Take a nice big inhale to prepare. And on an exhale, roll the legs over towards the right. And notice how different this twist feels. Notice the differences from side to side. And notice the differences from the first twist to the second twist. Sending the breath to wherever the body needs it. And trying to release and relax any tension in the body. On your next inhale, bring your head back to centre. On an exhale, really pull the core in tightly and roll the hips back down onto the mat. Untangle the legs and straighten yourself up. And then do whatever movements your body feels it needs before you come into final Savasana. Taking the arms down by the sides, feet can fall open. Tuck the shoulders under the torso so the neck is long and the arms are completely comfortable. Make sure the lower back is comfortable. If you need to tuck the tailbone under, tuck it under. Any pain in the lower back, bring the feet to the floor and let the knees roll in. And then just settle on your mat, knowing that you did a good thing for your body this evening. And you maybe looked at the world from a slightly different angle than you spent doing the rest of the day. Just let the awareness settle on the breath. On each inhale, feel new energy coming into the body. And on each exhale, really relax and release everything onto your mat. Inhaling new energy into the body. And then exhaling, releasing and relaxing and letting go of whatever today brought for you. Take 10 deep breaths like this. Then we'll take 3 deep breaths together, breathing in through the nose and sighing out loudly through the mouth. Nice big inhale. Gradually start to move the body, maybe rolling the head from one side to the other or wiggling through the fingers and toes, maybe circling through the wrists and the ankles or stretching the body out long. Move your body in whatever way it feels it wants to move, and then when you are ready, and there's no rush at all, you can stay in Savasana for as long as you like. But when you are ready, come up to seated. And we're done. Thank you so much for practicing with me this evening. I hope you enjoyed it. And I hope to see you on your mat again soon. Namaste.